The Border Patrol is losing agents faster than it can hire them. The Government Accountability Office reporting U.S. Customs and Border Patrol is roughly 2,000 agents short of its 21,000 required to employ by law and 7,000 short of the 25,000 agents President Trump requested by executive order back in January. Joining me now, Ronald Vitiello, who is the acting Deputy Commissioner of U.S. Customs and Border Protection, and it's great to have you with us. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for the opportunity.
I'm one of those people who I started out as a young reporter, reporting on the border and all of the issues that surrounded it then, and many of them now, everything from drugs to you name it. You guys have got a tough job, and it's not getting easier when you can't get people in to do that tough job. How are you going to manage it?
It is difficult work. Thank you for pointing that out. I've been with the agency for almost 33 years, but I'm blessed to work alongside many men and women patriots who go out there each and every day to try to protect the border, protect the homeland, in the Border Patrol as well as in CBP. So we're doing everything we can to make the hiring process as efficient as possible. That means when people apply to the day they come on duty, we've tried to do everything we can in that system to make it as efficient as possible. We've asked for some authorities in Congress to change the way we do some of the testing. But we need to have a system that brings the right people in because the job is important. We hold the public trust, and so we have to make sure that the people we bring in are the right folk.
And that job, in large measure, is also, as much as you work against human smuggling and people crossing that border, illegal immigrants, there are so many drugs coming across that border. Many people still do not realize, despite a 2-year campaign by this president to make people understand it, that the majority of methamphetamines, heroin, cocaine, and marijuana cross that border with Mexico.
That's true. The men and women of CBP are dedicated to doing the best they can, using the tools, the technology, using intelligence, partnering with state, local, tribal authorities, other federal government agencies to stop what we can at the border, to recognize when it's coming, and then be capable when we do see it.
And what is the best measure? What is the best metric for you in terms of your success in stopping illegal immigrants from entering this country and stopping drugs from entering the country? So
we like to have the combination of the available resources. If you have enough situational awareness, if you have impedance and denial, when you talk about walls, when you talk about infrastructure, access to the border, mission readiness, and just having the ability to know when things are going to happen before they happen.
Let's talk about the wall, because not enough people are talking about the wall, so I certainly want to add our voices to that issue. The president called for a wall. He campaigned for it. He's run into opposition from the Republican Congress. Are we ever going to see a border wall?
Well, we do have, I think you saw earlier on the show, the prototypes were completed.
8 of them.
October 26th in San Diego. I was happy to go out there and kind of unveil them to those that were interested, the press mostly.
That's I want to see those stretch about 2,000 miles, if you don't mind.
So we have a lot of action plans in CBP. We're ready to move out on infrastructure, the hiring of the personnel. And then it's important for your viewers to know that we're not just asking for concrete and steel. That's an important facet of a larger enforcement footprint, an enforcement zone, if you will. So we're asking for those barriers, but we're asking for the sensing technology that makes them more effective. Mm-hmm. We're asking for increased access and enforcement space along the immediate border, which does a couple of things. It marks the border, it makes our agents more safe, and it defines the enforcement zone for the communities that are near there.
That wall is critically important to millions and millions of people who voted for Donald Trump to be president. When's it going to be done?
So we're like I said, we've got action plans. We're ready to go. The Congress allowed us to move some money around in 2017 and gave us an allocation to do some replacement wall and to shore up some gaps in South Texas. And then we're continuing to plan for.
Do we have a completion date?
No.
I know it's not the government way to work, particularly in Washington, D.C. It's easy enough to find a start date. Have we got a completion date, and why in the heck does it? Well, that's a question for other folks, not you. Your service is immeasurably important to the country. And it's when I see people slow walking the president and pushing back on the wall in Congress, it just makes a lot of people, their blood boil, and I'm among them.
So the leadership of the department, the leadership at CBP, and the folks in the Border Patrol with our partners in CBP have developed action plans to deploy the wall. It requires resources. And so they gave us some in 17. We're going to move out on that, and we're hopeful for what will happen in FY18.
This is just my view. I'd like to just get a yes or no kind of answer from you beyond that, but is that succinct? Isn't there something wrong with a government, a Congress that doesn't understand that most of the drugs entering this country come across that border, and they're not doing every damn thing possible to stop it?
Well, I know we're doing everything we can.
No, I know you are.
And like I said, we have plans to move forward. And also important for your viewers to know that the president asked for other reforms in the immigration enforcement system. So we are asking for infrastructure and technology and more agents. We also need to shore up some of the loopholes in the enforcement system.
I'm a simple country boy. I just want the damn wall. Thank you very much for being with us. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.